Hello Redshifters. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the Cryptomatte output from Cinema4D using Redshift. Now the Cryptomatte is just another AOV that we can output using the Redshift AOV manager. You can actually render it in 2 or 3 ways even. Okay, so first I'm going to add a Cryptomatte to this scene. I'm not going to do anything, just render the frame. Okay, it complains about some missing textures because I'm using this from the actual content browser, so but it's okay, it will render just fine. So it does render here, and if you're looking at the Cryptomatte output, you see something that's kind of bluish. Okay, now this is not a Cryptomatte. This is a pseudo color output, so you can see that there are some IDs in your Cryptomatte. But this is no way your Cryptomatte AOV. I'm gonna leave this finish, okay, and I'm gonna save this at the end. So rendering 100%. So file, save multi-layer EXR, and let's call this RV. And I'm gonna open not Fusion, let's go for Nuke first. Okay, and let's bring RV in. So this is what our Redshift render view displays, and you can see here that we have a Cryptomatte layer, but this is not a Cryptomatte output. So if I, for instance, if I add a Cryptomatte node, I'm not gonna be able to pick anything. You see here there are some, these are just RGB values. Let me just show you this. Can you see how this changes with every pixel? Okay, so this is just a simple color. It's not a string. It's not a Cryptomatte ID. So simply put, don't use it. Okay. The other way is to actually render this on your hard drive. So you see here that saving from the RV doesn't work. So I have set up this as render and multi. Okay, and the Cryptomatte AOV, it can be saved in the multi-pass and as a direct output. And for direct output, it will be called keys AOV Cryptomatte. So let's do a render. Yes, I want to override those. And while this renders, I'm just gonna open up Nuke and show you how actually this works. So this expects some sort of file from us, right? I'm gonna just grab the bunny example from PsyOp code. So let's see how this works. It's a bit slow now because we're almost at the end. And by the way, when this renders, you see that these are black. Some buckets are black and some are not. And I'm going to explain to you in a second why is that. So for the moment, let's just go along with it, and I'll show you in a second. So this is your Cryptomatte frame or image from the PsyOp repo. So if I add a Cryptomatte node, you're gonna notice some pseudo colors, and if I pick this, you see that we get some strings. This is the ID that you're selecting, right? So for instance, if I want a single selection, I can get just this or just that, and it outputs in the alpha, right? So you see that this didn't work, right? The RV file that we have here doesn't have any Cryptomatte data, okay? And then we have this Cryptomatte which has been outputted by the direct output, and we have also the multi EXR, which multi you would expect again a Cryptomatte, right? Again, this is just a pseudo color, is the exact same thing that you get in here. Same thing, you see different reads, different inputs, same pseudo color. It's not the Cryptomatte data, so it's pretty much useless. What we need is this, right? And if you're looking at the proper Cryptomatte outputted from the direct output with the layer contact sheet, for instance, you're gonna notice that, well, we have 7 layers in the Cryptomatte. Okay, so if you're looking at them as an RGBA, you're gonna notice some colors, right? This is the Cryptomatte, this is the Cryptomatte 0, this is Cryptomatte 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so 7 in total. You see some sort of Cryptomatte. Actually, it's called Cryptomesh. It's not visible because it's actually, I can show it to you using a shuffle, right? A shuffle, maybe shuffle will show us. No, it's Cryptomesh, right? So it's not Cryptomatte, Cryptomesh. Okay, so how does it work? Well, you just connect it here, and again, same procedure. Pick if you want multiple. You have multiple outputs. There you go, and you have here the name of your object. See here. Now this is a bit different in After Effects. Okay, if I try to do the exact same thing, and I'm gonna bring in again the same things, the RV, the multi, and the key EXR. It takes a while for After Effects to load this. I don't know why, but it's just After Effects probably. Okay, so we have the RV here. Effects, Cryptomatte, or 3D channel Cryptomatte. And as you can see here, there's a Cryptomatte effect and no layer, no selection, no manifest. It says no Cryptomatte layer found. So clearly the RV is useless. If I look at the multi, it will do exactly the same thing. So effects, Cryptomatte, no Cryptomatte layers found. Perfect. So this leaves us with the proper Cryptomatte, which is this direct output, which I can then use. So Cryptomatte, there you go, everything works. Click, you have it. Shift clicks, multiple selection, control removes. That's about it. You can put it on matte only and use this as a mask. Now there is no difference though. You remember how these IDs were strings in Nuke? So if I go here, see, keys cloner 5 null 1 cylinder 1, keys cloner 6 null 3 cylinder 1, and so on and so forth. It's not the case in After Effects. Now this might be a limitation of the After Effects as a plugin that they integrated, or of the FNord plugin, I don't know, to be honest, but just be aware that there's a difference in the way these are interpreted. These are most likely the internal IDs that Cryptomatte is using. These are associated with some strings, with some string names. So probably the third one from the bottom, this one, which is, I don't know why I have 2 here. For instance, if I delete those 2, I have nothing, and now I have, well, I have 2, because they're probably 2 objects on top of each other. Possible, I don't know. But if I go here, right, and let's clear this and just select this bit, I have one single object. If it's just, it depends on how where you're clicking. See, you have one object here and one object there, so there's 2 objects, just so you know. Probably the same will happen here. Let me just try to, oh come on, how does one pan in this thing? So if I, oh come on, how do I pan in this bloody thing? Shift Alt mouse. Oh god damn it. This is the most ridiculous thing. Oh. Yeah, there is a bit of an issue because when you have Cryptomatte selected here, none of the shortcuts, middle mouse button doesn't work anymore, just the wheel works. Now it works, see? So let me clear this. Let's undo. Let me disable that and try to figure out this guy over here. Okay, so click here and then you get two IDs. I don't know why. Maybe the picking system in After Effects, it's a bit different, but if I click here, I should have one. Oh, I have two. So you know that there's a difference in the behavior, nothing else. Okay, so this is how it works in After Effects. Let's go back to Cinema4D and let's add another. So this was the Cryptomatte, let's call it names. Right, let's add 3 more. And this will be materials. This will be IDs. And this will be user data. Okay, so user data, ID, materials. Okay, so what will happen is it will output, instead of the object name as we had before, it will output the material name. It will output a Redshift object ID if you have one, or any user data you have set. Now I have created a user data called crypto string with these 2 values for the keys, which are all of these guys here. See? Let me display this in. So these are the keys, and this is the environment, let's say. Okay, this key as a string is called keys. This key as a string it's called env, and you do that by adding a user data of the type string. Call it whatever you want, give it a value. It can be something like this. It really doesn't matter, right? Because you're gonna use this string, the name of your user data, into the user attribute here. So crypto string. Okay, maybe I should use just like that and manage user data, remove this and remove the space here just to play safe, you know. Okay, crypto string, and here manage user data, the same thing, and we're good to go. And now we're gonna render all this again. Yes, I want to override out. Okay, now what you're gonna see here, it's a lot of black and a lot of buckets and no color, and that's because the GPU has already computed this, but the CPU did not. So the CPU, actually the GPU is waiting for the CPU to finish, and when the CPU finishes these, it will say writing AOVs. Okay, so let's wait a bit. Actually, I'm not gonna, because this is the wrong camera, I'm sorry. Let's abort this, although right now, see how this is frozen? Because I'm on the CPU, not on the GPU. The GPU render, it's a non-blocking render, so it won't freeze your UI. But since we are using the CPU, we're kind of frozen, right? So let me just use the proper camera, this one or this one, but this one is fine. So Shift R, render to PV, and of course to hard drive. And this will be a bit slower. So these buckets have been finished by the GPU, but the CPU is still computing them. Okay, that's why you see them black and not computed. By the way, if your CPU is slow, yes, it will wait. And as you can see here, it takes longer to actually compute the Cryptomatte IDs than to render this, because I have 4 Cryptomatte AOVs and each one contains some, I don't know how many IDs. I think we're not limited, but around 100,000 or 200,000 you might hit a limit with the amount of IDs that you have. But to be honest, 100,000 IDs, it's a bit ridiculous. Okay, you don't need so many. So this renders, and by the way, because this is a Cryptomatte AOV, it needs deep data from the render, and that means it will be slower than the regular render. So on top of that, you have the CPU compute. So basically, Cryptomattes are actually slower than the current render. Just be aware of this. Okay, so let's wait for it to finish. You see here that we have a single pass, and we have some pseudo colors. These are just for these are showing here because we have multi-pass enabled, right? We have this multi-pass enabled, which to be honest should not be enabled. These are absolutely useless. So it finishes the last one, then it writes the AOVs. For AOV, it's the writing of the AOV is not that slow, right? The computing of the Cryptomatte, it's a bit slow. So see here, saving frames, it takes some seconds. Okay, so let's go back to Nuke now. And we have what? We have, let's wait for it. So we have the multi, which is absolutely, as I said, useless. You see, we have some pseudo data here, IDs, materials, names, user data. All of them are useless, right? What we need is actually these ones. These four guys are our Cryptomatte AOVs. Okay, so this will be for the names. And if I look at this, and I look at the RGBA data, I'm getting that. And picking this in solo mode will give me the name of the actual object. If I change this to something else, like this one is the material name, right? And I'm gonna pick the material. This is the what? This is the matte, and this is the matte 0.61, and this is 58, and so on and so forth. And because we're in C4D, C4D is somehow special. In C4D, you can have the same name of the material several times. It doesn't mean it's limited to unique names. You don't have to have unique names. Internally, this is not the material name. It's not all the materials. I can call all the materials matte or whatever, alpha, right? Internally, there's something else. And this is what you're gonna get in the actual Cryptomatte, right? Matte 50, matte 58, 55, 7, and so on and so forth, right? If I remove this and I just click around here, you're gonna see we have quite a bit of material names, right? So these are, look, matte 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 57, 58, 61, 62, 67, and matte 7. Right? These, if you want, make no sense to you or to the comper, but you have to be aware that, well, it's a good thing to have these named properly and not have unique names. In this case, I made this on purpose to have the same name so you can see what you can run into. Okay, for the IDs, it's a bit different here because, well, it will be object 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So look at this. Objects ID 16, 37, 132, 52, and so on and so forth. Now, the way I set this up in Cinema4D is like this. I selected all the meshes, like this. Assuming I can select this, because on the filter here I have just polygons, right? And you can see here that all the meshes are selected, and I added a tag, a Redshift tag, for each and every one. And then with all these selected, you see here that object ID becomes multiple. Well, I just type in here none instead of multiple, right? And like something like none, right? So, well, I just changed the IDs without wanting to. Okay, so now it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. So, because what this does, it creates a different, it increments the number here, the object ID, from 0 up to the amount of selection. So each object here in this scene, it's a bit different. You can see here that this is what? 131, 132. I think that's the last one, something like this, right? Now, all these are visible in here. Object ID 0 from 0 to 132 or 1 to 132 depending on how I set the first one, because I can't remember. It's 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, here it is. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4, 5, 6. So I started from 1. Now, there is a last one, which is the string. Remember, we did this keys and env, right? Crypto string. If you look at Nuke now, with the last one, remember we have two IDs here. Crypto, the crypto string, it's called either keys or env. So I can get this one, which is keys, or I can get this one, which is env. So you set this up any way you like it. Now let's go to After Effects and see how we can do the same thing. So we've noticed that the RV is useless, and let's bring this new 4 in. We have to wait. Okay, so I'm trying to make this bigger. So IDs, effect, Cryptomatte, and if I pick something, it will be object something, right? Again, here it's not. It's something that After Effects interprets by itself. Again, I don't know why. Is it because this is the last version of After Effects, which is 1702 build 26. Apparently they have integrated Cryptomatte in After Effects directly. I think I downloaded EXR 202 or something like this, kind of install it. Don't know where that is. I'm just honest with you. Okay, so this is for the IDs, for the object IDs, right? That's what you expect. By the way, see me clicking here and then nothing happens, and that's because I don't have this selected. Now the picker, it's different. Okay, and you can see here the IDs. Fortunate enough, at least you see the crypto user object ID as a name of the layer, right? Let's get something different in here. Let's get the materials. Again, the same procedure, effect, Cryptomatte, and click, and you have crypto material and again some material names. Okay, seems a bit finicky. To be honest, I don't know if this is because of After Effects or something else. Seems to work fine with other software, but After Effects, it's a bit, well, temperamental. Okay, names. We've seen names before. User data. Let's try the user data. We should have only two IDs here. Again, effects. Oh, come on. Cryptomatte. And two IDs. One is this, which should be keys. And this should be env. And that's it. And then you can, of course, set this to matte. And you have a matte for this object that you can use to mask different effects and so on and so forth. Fusion wise, to be honest, I don't know what's going on with Fusion. I have this from Psyop GitHub, and I have these 4, which we don't care about this, that we just rendered, right? Like, for instance, this one. But it works fine with the bunny here. If I add a Cryptomatte, and you can see that I have this kind of gizmo, and if I put it here, I said mat locator add, it should create an alpha for this, and it does, right? And I can add more IDs. There you go, we have flower petal, blah 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 blah. Well, if I do the exact same thing here, let's try this, the user data, which has only 2 IDs. Okay, and if I drag this here or somewhere, and I say add, it gave me the env, right? And let me try to put it here. Sometimes it just crashes, that's why I'm saying add. I should have white almost everywhere, right? And I can just remove this. You can work either with a picker or like that. I don't know if this is an issue with the amount of IDs or with the way these are stored. I don't know. This is the AOV names, right? I should have a name for this guy, add. Okay, and you have the name of your object. If I use the materials, let me clear this, and let's pick up material like this one, for instance. Add should make this white and everything black, well, at least in the alpha. Okay, the same thing for the IDs, which will be, see here, mat67 and so on and so forth. We've been through this in Nuke. If I use the IDs, I can again grab an ID from here, add. I find it a bit slow, to be honest. It's way faster in Nuke, and even After Effects is faster. But yeah, that's the procedure, and you can use this to color correct something, like let's say it's this one, and let me set this up properly. And this is an sRGB output, right? And I like to take this one and color correct it. I don't know, change something like so, and then just use this as an effect mask if I can find this. So this is here, okay, and this is the effect mask, that's correct. And if I change anything in there, now maybe not the hue because this is gray, the gain, see, this works without a problem. I can come back here and actually get this one as well. Come on, there you go, and that works, and I can change the color for that one as well. So this is how it works in Fusion as well. Please remember that if you're trying to save this as a multi-layer, it's useless. If you're trying to save this using a multipass, again, it's useless for the Cryptomatte. Cryptomatte only works with direct. It uses deep data from the render, and because it's using the CPU as well, it will be a bit slower. Well, that's about it with Cryptomatte. If you have any questions, just ask them on the forum. We're there to help you. Happy redshifting. Cheers.